All right, everybody, welcome to the Rational Gig Update. So, I'm Steve. I'm the Rational Gig Driver, aka Dad Dash. You may have known me. You may have seen me. You may have seen some of my videos before. You may not have. I don't know. But I wanted to come in and talk to you guys because it's been a while. I think YouTube told me it's been over 100 days since I put up a video. And I thought that's too daggone long. So I don't want to get deactivated by YouTube like I did Grubhub. So I want to give you guys an update, and I'll get into the first part of my update. I got deactivated from Grubhub, but I did not get deactivated for doing anything bad. So before you start, go, I knew it, Rational Gig Driver. You're not very rational and you're doing terrible things out there. That's not true. What happened is I didn't deliver for them for 6 months and they basically deactivated me. I tried to go back in and get reactivated and they told me you're waitlisted. So lesson, do not let your apps go out, do an order. Don't ever disregard an app for too long because they will decide, hey, we're not going to let you do it anymore. Now I'm waiting. As soon as I get a chance to get back in, I intend to get back on the platform. It's no big deal because, quite frankly, I haven't been doing a tremendous amount of gig work, and that's partly why I didn't do anything with Grubhub, because it was always kind of one of those things I would flip on if I was going out and doing like a big long day or doing a weekend. I primarily focused on doing Spark and Uber Eats and DoorDash. Those are my big three that I like to use. And quite frankly, I was upset with Grubhub because they had given me one of their little contract violation thingamajiggers back in September for allegedly, basically I ran into a timing issue and I had accepted a stack and I unassigned those 2 orders. And apparently if you unassign 2 orders, it triggers something in their system, or at least it did for me, and I ended up on their bad list. Now, I got really pissed and I revolted and I didn't do an order for them at all for the rest of 2024 because I was mad. It fell off in like December and I was back to good, and then I didn't do anything with them. And then in March, I got the notification that basically 6 months of inactivity, not doing an order. And again, this actually speaks really well of Grubhub. So instead of me coming out slamming them and saying screw Grubhub, it actually speaks well of them because they try to limit the amount of drivers that are active in their area to try to make sure that drivers who want to drive for them, if you're driving for them, you get a better opportunity to make money, and it helps limit saturation. So hats off to Grubhub. As I've said from time to time, Grubhub is the place that every DoorDash driver's complaints would all get solved if you go over and you drive for Grubhub. Now, the one thing it doesn't solve, of course, is the problem across all gig apps right now, and that is the lack of pay or low pay. And that's a problem. And it's a problem because, of course, inflation has been terrible in the last year, and as a result, you know, earning $100 a day and doing gig work, it's not the same. Everybody else is getting pay raises. Everybody else is getting pay raises built in, and yet base pay stays at $2. And tips, well, we're at the mercy of the customer. The customer who's getting price gouged by DoorDash and all these gig apps left and right. And Walmart, now Walmart Spark is a little different. They do pay base pay that is a little bit stronger than DoorDash, and they will pay base pay to get orders delivered. And they will come in and they will not try, they don't try to figure out how to get 0 tip orders delivered for literally nothing, or for the $2 flat rate that they're trying to charge like DoorDash does. They actually come in and they dynamically pay their driver based on needs, based on how long the order has been waiting, stuff like that. So that's why I have said, if you're going to try to make money in the gig economy, you've got to do multiple apps. So that is the first thing. If you're new to the gig economy, multiple apps is the only way to go. I've been doing this now going on for almost 5 years, and that is the takeaway. It's tried and true. It's still present today. If you're going to try to work one app, you're going to catch a lot of BS, and you're going to either have to figure out, you're going to be limited. You're going to be limited, okay? And anybody that tells you not just isn't thinking this through and isn't using common sense. And I have driven for DoorDash, and I've driven as a 100% acceptance rate driver. I've driven as a 70 to 80% acceptance rate driver. I've driven as a 0% acceptance rate driver. I've driven everywhere in between. And DoorDash and Spark last year were my 2 highest earning apps. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you right now that those are married. Those are great, because where there's a Walmart, there are DoorDash opportunities. And when you put those two together, it's your most powerful earning tool. Add in some Uber Eats, and Uber Eats will come through now and again. Now, Uber Eats is playing a lot of games right now. I've noticed that. They are trying to go the DoorDash model. They are now making, in my area as of June 13th, I will now have an acceptance rate will now matter in terms of allegedly priority. But I'm here to dispel that. Priority doesn't exist. And I'm not talking from a lack of experience. I'm talking from experience, because I know, because as I said, I've been all over the acceptance rate spectrum. So I know that priority isn't real in the sense that you think it is. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is yes, in very rare occurrences, priority will matter. In other words, you will get the opportunity to, maybe you'll get a better order than what another driver would be, but it's very rare. And here's why it's rare. Number one, to maintain that priority, you have to take orders that are against your own benefit. As a result, that erases any benefit that you get from the priority. If you don't believe me, look at my wealth of evidence that I've put out over the lifetime of my channel. Go back, watch the videos, watch the lives, watch it happen in real time, watch a real driver show you real things in real time, and you will see it. Check out all my lives last summer. I went live and showed you what life was like at 100%, at 70%, at 80%, in a rural, real market, a market that is 80% of your, I'm sure, of you guys out there in the United States. There are drivers out there, I'm not discrediting what they're saying necessarily, but they're in big cities and they're in different areas. But I am discrediting the idea of the math that they're using. There's no way they can do it. Now, what I think is happening when we see some of these things is, yes, $300 in one market is not the same as it is in my market. What I mean is, if you're in a big city where people are paid differently and the cost of living is different, yeah, you can show a $300 a day, but that $300 a day, when you adjust across the spectrum, it's all about relative and equal. But the real thing is that we have to figure out is we have to get to the point where we have to understand that the math and economics of gig work are simple. You go out, you figure out a defined time you're going to work, you take the highest value dollar orders during that time, and then you stop working. And if you're new and you just caught this video, my strategy that I would tell any new driver, and I sat down with new drivers, and it works, 3-hour blocks, okay? 3-hour blocks, multiple apps. You don't focus on the money. You focus on 3 hours, and the only aspect of money you focus on is when that offer comes to the screen, you make sure it makes financial sense for you. Whatever your reality is. My reality and your reality are two different things. I drive a Prius. You might drive a F-250. And if you're driving an F-250, your reality is starkly different than mine. But you need to understand that. What do you need to make per order, per mile, per minute in order to be profitable? And you take high profitable orders. You take orders that make sense. You do it for that 3-hour period. And then you take a break. And here's the thing. Some of you might say, well, I can't take a break. I got to be out all the time. What if it don't? He's going to give you a break anyways. And then you're going to be pissed about it. Sitting in the parking lot, you're going to be all upset. You're going to make stupid decisions. You don't need to get upset. Take a break. Go get something to eat. Go take a nap. Read a book. Shoot a video. Take a break. And come back for another 3 hours. Okay? Plan your next 3 hours strategically. And then do the same thing. Multiple apps, highest dollars. Work to your reality, not mine, not anyone else's. Okay? You do that, you're going to be fine. And then, however many 3-hour shifts you need to do in a day to reach your goal, or whatever that is, whatever your financial goal is, that's, again, your reality, not mine. You might need 500 in a day. You might need 300 in a day. You might need 200 in a day. Whatever that is to reach your goal. make sure you understand, though, the economics of your reality, of your final bill to yourself. What is it costing you to be out? What are your taxes going to cost? Make sure you're setting those things aside. And if you are, you're going to be fine. So, look, here's the thing. As I tell my sons, what you hear across GigTube a lot is all this, you can't do this. It's impossible to do this. Can't, impossible, they don't exist. There's two things that exist in the world. There's I don't know how, and I won't. Those are the two realities. You've got to decide where you're at. If you don't know how, come to a channel like mine. Come to some other channels. Learn how. Learn from the people who've done it before. If you won't, then go find your motivation. Come to a channel like mine and get motivated. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what others are telling you. Okay? And find your motivation. But understand, there is no can't. There's just I won't and I don't know how. You've got to figure out how to overcome either of those. And once you do, you will get to where you need to be at. And if you're I won't, if you're in the I won't category, then maybe it's not for you. You figure out what you will do. Okay? Maybe it's not for you, that's okay. But I'm assuming if you're watching this video, it is for you, it's what you want to do. You want to be here, you want to be where I've been, you want to be where others have been. You're out here trying to make a living. You can do it. Okay? Now, what's the future of Rational Gig Driver? Well, I'm hoping to be coming out here, especially now that we're in the summertime. It's going to be summer slowdown, so a lot of you need to hear this message. Stay positive, right? Stay positive. And remember, there's no I can't. Figure it out. All right? There's a lot of resources out here. Figure it out. I try to keep up with the email, even though I've been in and out a lot. If you want one of the spreadsheets that I have to help you keep track of your stats, help you keep track of your expenses, completely free. I ask that you subscribe, and if you don't want to do that, I don't care. It's here to help you. Reach out. I'll authorize you to use them, and on you go. But the future of Rational Gig Driver, I'm thinking of making a comeback here. I'm thinking of making a change back to DoorDash. That was my original thing. Give me your thoughts if you made it this far in my video. And if you have, I really appreciate it. Gold star. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll give you the gold star response. If you made it this far, great. You're going to know this. And then the other thing I'm thinking of doing is wanting to do like I'm going to do a weekly show where we talk. And and drivers can come in and we can talk. 5 years, almost 5 years doing gig work. I got a lot to share, a lot of questions to answer. And I want to answer them for you. Okay? And we want to give me your thoughts on that if you'd like me to do that. If you're familiar with me, maybe you're not. Maybe it's something you would want to become familiar with. And I'm going to also be trying to put out a little bit more content here for you, so you can see the real life side of this thing. And I don't put out I put out my bad days and my good days. And I'm telling you, it's not all good. It's not all bad. Sometimes I go out for 3 hours and I make $50. Sometimes I make $30. All right? But as long as I know that I took the most profitable orders during that time, then I got the best out of it. And sometimes I go out and I make $200. I've had that happen before. I had a Spark order once that I made over $200 on. It was a fantastic order. 4th of July last year. And look, we're not bragging. I'm just telling you what the possibilities are. So know your worth. Understand what your reality is. And remember, can't doesn't exist. It's just I won't or I don't know how. You conquer either of those two things wherever you're standing right now, and you'll be fine and you'll get into it. Guys, stay rational, and I'll be talking to you soon.